Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Castles of Burgundy. This is a digital adaptation of a popular board game, a board game that I admittedly do not own. It's important to stress that what you're looking at here is a preview build, so everything that you're about to see is subject to change. With that being said, it'll be out on Steam and mobile devices tomorrow, February 28th, 2019, should you wish to pick it up for yourself. So, what is Castles of Burgundy all about? Well, like I said, I do not own the tabletop game, but I have spent the last hour and a half learning about the game, playing through the tutorials here. When I got confused in my off-camera play session, I did go to Board Game Geek and I watched a couple of videos. I read a couple of pages from the actual rulebook because this is a complex game. I'll come right out and say it. It's a fairly complex game. This is not a game that you can sit down for 5 or 10 minutes with and just go, oh yeah, I can totally beat anyone I play against. I completely understand what's going on. I'm an expert. No. This is going to require a couple of playthroughs to get the general flow of the game, the feel of the game, and you're going to have to come up with maybe some different strategies to see what works for you and what doesn't. So let's go ahead and show you around a bit. This is the main menu. First tab in the upper left is just your profile. You can mess with your account, achievements, statistics, ranking, replays. Digidiced is the one that published this game, so this menu will appear familiar to a lot of people, especially if you've owned Indian Summer or Stockpile, Isle of Skye, Pohanza, Das Dul, Cottage Garden, Terra Mystica, and the list goes on. I actually own, I want to say, 95% of these games. I think the only one that I don't own digitally is Bonanza. But other than that, yeah, I mean, these are all wonderful games. So if you're looking for a lot of digital board games, check out the games that Digidiced has converted. And there's some other great developers/publishers too that have made games digital, but this is a good starting point. All right, on the right-hand side, again, you've got tutorials, taking actions, terrain types, completing sections, manual, settings menu. You can change your language. You can toggle the music and sound effects on or off, HD mode, gameplay speed, and so on. All right, so if you want to play a game, there's ranked, there's casual, and there's local. Local is where you can play against the AI. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to play against Burgundy bot level 1. It goes up to Castlemania level 3. Those are the different bots. I guess easy, medium, hard. The Silverling Surfer. I like that. Alright, so you can also choose the different map modes. There's standard, random, identical, and random different. I've only played once off camera, so I couldn't tell you what all of those different map modes did. There's also shuffle. I'm assuming that just changes your tableau. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll wait for my turn to pop up before I start talking. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot going on here on the screen. For those of you that are new to this game, don't feel bad. I looked at this and I was like, what is going on? What is this? So everyone has their own personal tableau, okay? And that's you start with this city in the center. That seems to be the default. From my understanding, in the tabletop game, you can put that wherever you want, but first-time players are recommended to put it right in the center. You'll notice that there's different colored tiles on your tableau. There's different dice numbers, like you've got this gray 4, this beige 3, the yellow 2. And there are tiles in this game that will fit those slots by color. You're going to be drafting tiles from these depots along the top, numbered 1 through 6, and you're going to be matching the color and the number and putting them into these colored spaces. So the game is broken up over 5 phases, okay? And there are 5 rounds per phase. Every round you get 2 actions. You're going to roll 2 dice, and each die is going to be used to perform an action. I'll get into the actions in a minute, but if you do the math on that, 5 rounds times 2 actions, that's 10 actions per round, and because there's 5 phases, that 10 times 5 is 50. So roughly you're taking about 50 actions throughout the entire game. Now there are 4 possible actions that you can take whenever you're taking an action. The first thing that you can do whenever you spend a die to perform an action, you can take from the depot along the top. You'll notice that there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and there's different colored tiles. You can click on one, and down here you can see, if you click and hold, it brings up a little blurb about what it is and what it does. There are also different colors, and the color will determine where it goes on your tableau. But long story short, when you take this action, you're going to, let's say I use the number 2 to perform my action. I'm going to then look at the number 2 depot and then choose one of those tiles to put into my personal storage along the bottom. Along the bottom, I've got 3 storage spaces here. So first action that you could possibly take, use a die, use its number, take from that matching number, the depot, and then put one of those tiles into your personal storage. Now, if you have workers, you can adjust the pip on your die. So let's say I wanted to take from the 3 instead of the 2. I could spend 1 worker to up my pip by 1, and then I could take from the 3 stack. I could take one of the tiles from the 3. If I wanted to take from the 4, I would spend 2 workers. If I spent the 2 die and I wanted to take from the 4, I'd have to spend 2 workers. Your worker count is on the bottom of your circle here. There's the number 1 here with 2 people. There's a person to either side of that 1. That's how many workers you have. How do you earn workers? I'll get to that in a minute. The second thing that you can do on your turn is take the item that you have from your storage, any of the 3 items that you have from your storage, the tile, and then put it onto your tableau. Okay, it's called your estate is what it's called, but tableau, estate, whatever. So you would put it from your storage into your estate. You're going to match the color, and you're going to match the die that you spent. So if I spent my 1 to place something, let's say I had these green pigs, the green tile with the pigs on it, and I was using the number 1. I would put the pigs onto the number 1, the light green die valued 1 space is what I would do. But when I'm placing a tile, I have to put it adjacent to an existing tile. So in the very beginning of the game, I only have a choice between 6 different tiles. I've got the beige 3, the yellow 1, the blue 5, the beige 3 again, the gray 4, and the blue 2. And then from there I can branch off. But let's say that I had something on this beige 3, the upper one. I could spend my 1 and then put the pigs onto that light green space. I could do that. That's the second thing I can do. The third thing I can do is sell goods of 1 type. Throughout the game, I'm going to be earning goods tokens. I've got to the left-hand side, directly to the left of my circle, there's a purple 1, an orange 1, and I guess a red 1. And then in the bottom left-hand corner of each of these good tokens, there's like a number 2, a number 6, number 4. You can hold up to 3 types, or 3 numbers. So if I wanted to collect a good that had a value of 5 die, I couldn't take it. I'd have to discard one of my other ones. So I've got a 2, I've got a 6, and I've got a 4, and I've got 1 of each. If I got another 4, however, I can stack them. If I got another 6, I could stack those. If I got another 2, I could stack those. If I got a 1, out of luck. Okay? So I could sell goods of 1 type, and that will earn me money and victory points. The last action that you could take of the 4 actions when you're spending a die is earn 2 workers. Doesn't matter what the value is of your die, you just earn 2 workers. It adds to the count here. In addition to those 4, once per turn, you can spend $2 to buy a tile from this black depot on the left. Right above the goods that you have, there's 4 tiles, and this may change depending on the number of players, but you can spend money. Your money is in the bottom left of the circle. There's a gray arrow top, I guess, right here, and it has a 1 on it, a blue aqua 1. That is how much money you have. You spend 2 of those to buy 1 of these. At least that's what the rulebook says. Pretty sure it's the same in the digital too. All right, so you can do that once per turn. All right, so those are the 4 different actions you can take. Some miscellaneous things to mention. You cannot place an identical building in the same city/region. Now, that's one thing that confuses me slightly. The rulebook and other sources use the term city and region. They seem to use them interchangeably. A region is basically a collection of tiles of the same color. For example, on your tableau, on the very bottom, there's a 2, 4, and a 1 in yellow. That is one region. I'm going to assume that's also one city. I'm not exactly sure if that's the case, but that's what I've reasoned for myself. Okay, so you cannot, the buildings are put onto the beige colored tiles, so you cannot have, say, 2, I don't have these buildings memorized. Let me take a look at this one. What is this? Warehouse. I couldn't have 2 warehouses in the same beige region. Beige color are for buildings. The yellow regions are for, like, special victory point or special abilities. The gray is for, like, mines. The blue is for shipping. They allow you to sell goods. They allow you to collect goods. The light green is for placing animals. Dark green, I believe, is for placing cities? Castles. Yeah, you can put castles down, which allow you to take immediate additional actions. So each color does something different. Each colored tile does something different, so depending on what you want to do. So how does scoring work? Well, you earn points as you play, and you earn points at the end of the game. So during the game, if you complete a region completely, so let's say that I completed this 3 yellow region. If I completely cover that, like put 3 tiles on that, I earn points in 2 different ways. I earned between 1 and 36 victory points, depending on the size. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but the larger the region, the more victory points you get. So by completing 3, I would earn less victory points than I would by completing this 5 beige region over here. That's one way. The other way I earn victory points, it depends on the phase. If it's in phase A, I would earn 10 victory points. If it's in phase E, I would earn 2 victory points. There's a little slider along the left-hand side here, A, B, C, D, E. The further in the game it is, the less points you receive for completing regions. All right. You also earn points as you cover the spaces of one color. Like if you completely cover all of the spaces of one color, you'll note that there are multiple beige regions. Like there's 5 here, 3 to the left, 3 to the top right, 1 here. If you completely cover a color completely, then you earn a large bonus if you're the first player to do it. If you're the second player to do it, you earn a smaller victory point bonus. You also earn points immediately for putting animals down. Animals, again, go on these light green colored squares. And if you put the same animal type down, like chickens and chickens, if you already have chickens and you put more chickens down, you'll count all of the chickens instead of just the one that you placed. So if you put 3 cows down, you get 3 victory points for that. But if you already have 2 cows and you put another 3 down, you would get 5. So if you keep putting animals down of the same type down, you're gonna, I don't want to say exponentially, but you're going to accrue those victory points, and you're just going to keep taking the total, which is really nice. You also earn immediate points by placing watchtowers. There's some endgame scoring, unsold goods, any leftover money, leftover workers you might have, and then there are some yellow some yellow tiles that will earn you victory points at the end of the game for certain things. I don't have them memorized. Like I said, this is my second playthrough, okay? But what I'm telling you is, I believe, a good overview of what's going on. And that's really the gist of it. As far as the interface goes, obviously a little different than the tabletop game. There's, along the bottom, I'm trying to find it. There it is. There's a little person that you can click on. This is the interface tooltip, I guess. Depots are along the top. Map rotation if you want to rotate your board. Knowledge is the yellow victory point tiles that you'll be collecting that serve as victory points for the end of the game. Trade goods that you have that you can eventually sell for money and victory points. The round, again, I said that every round is, every phase is broken up over 5 rounds. There's going to be 5 goods here. 1 is gone already because we started the first round of that phase. Basically, behind the scenes, there's an imaginary die that is rolled, and then the next good from the round tracker is put into one of these 6 depots along the top. In this case, it was put into the 5. You'll notice that the 1 slot has 2, the 2 has 2, the 3 has 2, the 4 has 2. The 5, however, has 2, but also 1 good as well. So the imaginary die that was rolled, the first good token went there. Behind the scenes. Every round that's going to occur until all 5 are gone, and then that will end the phase, and then this will continue until we've, run out of phases. Again, there's 5 phases. So let's get through 1 or 2 phases. This game is quite long. It's like a half an hour, 45 minutes. So I've already spent, 10, 20 minutes explaining the game to you. So let's just have at it. And keep in mind, this is my second playthrough. Strategy-wise, I'm clueless. I'm still learning that. So do not take this as a how to beat the game or how to get good. This is a look at the digital adaptation. This is what you're in for. Maybe you might be interested in picking it up. So I've got a 2 and a 1. That's what I rolled. So again, I've got 4 actions. I might want to take a tile from the 1 or 2 here. I've also got 1 worker. Whenever you're using a worker, the 1 and 6 wrap. So this 1 here, if I wanted a 6, I could wrap the 1 into a 6, and I would spend 1 worker to take one of those. I could do that. What is this building here? Carpenter's Workshop. Player takes the building tile of his choice from the game board. So that might be something to think about. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and, or do we want one of these instead? What is the number 2? Allow an immediate additional action. I kind of like that. Let's do the castle instead. What is this one? Yellow. The player who adds this tile to their estates receive 4 victory points at the end of the game for each corresponding building that has been added. Oh, okay. It's knowledge. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play our 2 and take the castle. It goes into our storage. Now for my second action, I could spend my 1. However, I couldn't put this down yet. And the reason is, I have no dark green space yet. So I may just... But at least I saved this for a future turn. So I couldn't put this down because the top 3 here, the dark green, are not adjacent to my middle tile. I'd need to put a building on this beige 3, or a knowledge tile, the yellow tile, on that 1. In order for me to put something on that 6, and so on. But this 1, I might just take from... I'm going to take this. Alright. And that ends my round. Now the computer's going to go. Spending the 2 and the 6. Okay, he used the worker to adjust the die from a 6 to a 5 and took one of the tiles that was there. Alright, so now it is a new round. A new good token went from the round tracker onto one of the 6 depots. It went on the 4 this time. There's a orange one there with a 6. I could take that one if I took the appropriate action to take that. But I don't know if I want to do that yet. Let's see. Well, 4 and 3. I like animals. I like the animals in this game. You can earn a lot of points. But I'll be curious to see what comes up, too. At the moment, I can only put buildings down. Now, with my 4 and 3, I could use my 3 to put this... Because I've got a beige building, and I've got a 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down using the 3 for one action. And whenever you put a building down, you take its action immediately. There are some exceptions to that. But now I can take a free token based on that ability, that tile's ability. So I might want the chickens. Now that I've opened myself up to this left side, I think I might do that. What is the other tile over here? Player takes 4 worker tiles. That's the board. All right, I think I'll take the chickens. I like animals. Assuming I can. Is it going to let me? Oh, I wonder if I have to take a building. Not okay, it's not any tile. Okay, player takes the building tile of his choice. So I couldn't take the chickens. It's not a building tile. I can take a beige tile, basically. So do I want the worker building, or do I want this one over here? What is this one? Player sells the goods type of his choice. Okay, so this allows me a free sell when I place it. I can sell one of these off. Do I want to do that? What is this one? Player watchtower, 4 victory points. I just may want that one. All right, I'm going to take that one. 4 victory points is 4 victory points. Alright, I still have my 4. Again, I took that tile as the result of me placing this carpenter's workshop here. So I still have my 4. I could use my 4 to take that ship on the 4 space. I could spend a worker and take from the 3 or the 5 if I wanted to. What is this yellow one here? The player who adds this tile to his estate may adjust all die results being used to place buildings. Beige tiles by +1 or -1, just as if he had used a worker tile for them. Oh, okay, so let's me adjust dice. Well, I think we'll... Well, this is the strategy part. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I could discard the 4 altogether and get 2 workers, but how about we take this boat? We'll take that. In the future, that'll allow me to sell some goods. And I end my turn with this little button down here at the bottom right. Alright, new round. New good from the round tracker gets added to the tableau along the top there. After he's done going. There it goes. Okay. So it's on the 4. Alright, choose an action. Now here's the thing. I've got a 4 and a 6 in my out of my 3 goods that I've got. I've got a 6 and a 4. If I can place that 2 or the 5, the blue 2 or the blue 5, I've got that blue tile down here. I could turn the 4 into a 5 or the 6 into a 5 and place that, and then that'll allow me to collect all of the goods of my choice from one of the 6 numbers along the top. I could take 2 of those goods. If I wanted to, I could do that. Question is, what am I going to do? 4 victory points for the watchtower. I've got that 6. Let's go ahead and use that first. I'm going to use my 6. Play that here. And I believe that allows me to take an additional action. Take a free action. And I think that's any die roll, too. So, I guess the next question is, what would I want to do? I could place a tile for free. I could, yeah, take another immediate action. I could take the chickens. Yeah, let's go ahead and take those. And that was my free action. Now I get to play an action. I've got my 4 still. So I think what I may do, I've got 3 tiles in my storage already, so I can't get another one from the depot. So I may want to play this. I can put it on the 5 here. But I have to spend 1 worker to do it, because to turn a 4 into a 5, I need 1 worker. The game is telling me 1 worker here. I have 1 worker, fine. If this were red, I couldn't do it. Or, you know, I don't want him taking those. I don't know if he's going to want those or not. Let's take a look at his board. If you click on his little board on the top left, there's a little eyeball you can click on, and you can see what he's doing. He's got a 5 and a 1. That tells me he's probably not going to go after the goods on the 4 space. I could be wrong. Maybe he will. He does not have a boat in his storage, but there's still a boat out there on the 1 depot. So in theory, he could grab that, then take the goods from the 4, but he wouldn't have the space for both of them. So maybe I have some room to play the chickens first and then maybe get more goods. I don't know. Maybe we'll wait and see. Because there's a 4 here that's coming up, and like on the round tracker, there's another 4. If a 4 gets rolled, that's going to get added to the 4 depot, and then there'll be 2 4s and a 6. Then I definitely want to grab that. Decisions. I'm going to go ahead and spend my 4 exactly to put these chickens down. Do that. Save my worker. That's 3 victory points immediately, because there's 3 chickens there. Alright. Alright, he took the boat. He's playing the 4. What's he doing with it? He's putting the boat down. Is he taking those tiles? He took... Okay, he didn't have enough room for both, so he took 1 of them. The 6 is still there. Alright. Maybe I should have played the boat first and gotten those 2. I'm not that heartbroken over it. I've got a 6 and a 3. I could take the pigs. The 6, there's nothing on it. Again, I've got 1 worker, so but there's not a whole lot of options here. You know what? I've got a 3 exactly. Maybe I might want to play this watchtower for 3. Clear up some space. Play that here. And again, that's 4 victory points for that watchtower. I've got a 6 remaining. I've got that boat. I can turn that into a 5 and still collect that 6. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, though. I could also get rid of the 6 and just get 2 workers in preparation for the next round. Again, decisions. Goodness gracious. Well, you know what? Let's start. We need to get our boats. Let's just clear this out. We'll use a worker. Put that boat down. There we go. And now I'm going to collect that 6. Oh, every time you play a boat, your marker moves up the turn order track. That's on the right-hand side of the screen. There's a turn order track. We start on the very bottom, but as we play boats, we move up the track. The further you are up the track, the better, because then you go first. All right, so I'm going to take this 6 here. Hit check. And that stacks with the one I already have. So I've got 2 now. And end my turn. Alright, so my opponent goes first. Last round for the phase. Because, well... Alright, so he's building a mine. Mines give you money, I believe, at the end of every phase. Yeah. On the left-hand side, provides 1 silverling income each at the end of each phase. And there's 5 phases, so... Alright, so I've got a 1 and a 6. And the good that was rolled here was a 1 on the 5 space. So not ideal for me. I don't like any of these. I mean, this yellow tile might be nice. But it's on a 5. I have no workers. I'd have to take... Let's use our 1 to get some workers. There's a you can also choose one of your 4 actions via these buttons down here. I could also sell goods too while I'm at it. Clear some space. I could do that. Or I might want to wait until I stack more before wasting a die on that. But then again, I also earn money, which I need to buy these tiles to the left. Oh, there's chickens over there too. You know what? Let's sell the goods. Maybe I can buy that chicken tile over there on the black depot, and then I've already got chickens, so that'll help me out score-wise. So let's do this. Let's spend our... Which one do we want? Let's spend our 1. Spend our... Oh, no. Oh, that's right, because the number on the bottom left is a 6. So I have to use that die value. I have to match it, unless I've got workers. I don't, but... Alright, so I'm going to use my 6. Do that. So I'm selling those 2. Alright, I've got 2 gold now. And now I can buy this, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and do that. That goes into my personal storage. I've got a 1. So I could use my 1 to place those chickens. Or I can use it to get workers. I'm going to go ahead and use my 1 to place those chickens. Exact match. 3 victory points for the chickens, plus the other 3 that I already have there, because it's the same type. So I got 6 victory points for that placement. And end turn.